Hello everybody and a good day to you all. Today I'm doing a Star Wars The Last Jedi spoiler review. And before I get into that, I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Len Streeter and Nebula 1400. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for watching, and also thank you for subscribing. I really do appreciate it a whole lot. And I'm happy that you really enjoyed the movie and had a whole lot of fun watching it. And the movie isn't bad. I do recommend it. I don't think it's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, but the movie does have its flaws. It has its problems, and I'm gonna explain a little bit more. And if you agree, that's good. If not, that's okay. It's okay. We have differences of opinions. We don't have to agree and like all the same things. But that's great. Doesn't mean that you're right and I'm wrong. Doesn't mean I'm right and you're wrong. Doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that we both saw something. We both got something different out of it. That's all. And again, like I said, thank you for watching and your comments. I really do appreciate it a whole lot. And so here's the bad parts, because since I'm gonna spoil everything right now. So you know right now, this is a spoiler review. And here's the bad parts first, and then I'm gonna move on to the good parts. The bad part is a lot of characters don't act the way they should. I mean, I should say regress them. Like you have Finn. You have Finn, who, like I said, was running away from what was going on. But his intentions were good. He was just trying to save Rey, because he had a beacon to pretty much lead Rey away so she won't get caught by the Empire. Which is nothing wrong with that. But the problem with, well, there's something wrong with that. Because see, the thing is though, he's sacrificing all these people's lives who he actually could help to save Rey, who's not there. Rey's not there. Rey is somewhere else on another island in another galaxy far, far away. She's nowhere near the danger. So the fact that he's pretty much willing to sacrifice everybody else's life to save one person, that's bad. And that makes him look bad as a character. And then you think he got better than that in Force Awakens, but it seemed to regress them and made him even worse, because now he's pretty much putting Rey as his excuse to run away. And how do you think Rey's going to feel when she finds out that he sacrificed all these people's lives just to save her? Think she'll be happy with that? Think she's going to welcome him back with open arms? That he left everybody else to die to the Empire so he can save her life? She's not going to like that at all. And then you have Poe Dameron. He's acting out of character because you liked him. They established him in the Force Awakens as the character that you liked. Everybody liked Poe. He was charming, he was fun, he was one of the best pilots in the world, and they backed it up and they showed it. But this time, he wasn't good to the rebellion, Empire, the rebellion at all, because his first mission was they're gonna take down the destroyer. It wasn't working. So Leia said, fall back, because the plan wasn't working. But he ignored her, went through with it, and yes, he succeeded. But so many people died in the process that could have been saved because he just didn't want to listen. Which is not good. He even rebelled against people in rebellion, all because he didn't want to listen. But the problem with that was, it wasn't even all his fault. That's his bad leadership, because you have Vice Admiral Holdo, who's played by Laura Dern, wasn't willing to tell Finn what the plans were. And she wasn't willing to explain anything. It made her seem like she was the bad guy, and then that Finn's mission that he had with Poe's mission with Finn and Rose didn't even have to happen if it explained to him what was going on. Because when Leia woke up after being unconscious, and when she told Finn what they were trying to do, he went along with it. So it made everything that Finn and Rose did unnecessary. And matter of fact, it was unnecessary because they brought nothing to the table. Finn and Rose going on this mission to find a decoder to stop the takedown of their shields. That's the whole point. And then along the way, they put to establish a relationship, and also Finn learns about war and what's about good and bad, all that stuff like that. But all that stuff was pointless, because the whole mission failed, and the failure didn't affect the rebellion. It didn't hurt the Empire, and it didn't do anything to the story. It was just cool to look at, but again, it brought nothing to the table. So they didn't really have to do it. Yes, they're trying. Like I said, they're trying to establish a relationship between Finn and Rose, and trying to get to know a new character. And yes, it did show it got introduced to a kid who had the Force abilities, but other than that, it didn't really bring nothing to the table that we ever needed. It was just like filler that we went on this whole journey for nothing. And you had the thing with Leia. She's had powers and abilities that she's never demonstrated before because she got blown up in a ship that killed and vaporized everybody in that ship, in that section of the ship. But somehow, with the Force, she managed to not only survive an explosion without a scratch on her body, which I don't know how that's possible, survive breathing in space with unaided for any devices, and then use the Force to fly herself back to the ship. Like, Leia has never demonstrated this much power in her life, ever. In either movie, she never demonstrated this much power. Does she have the potential? Yes, but she's never used it. And I don't think so. The fact that she would do all this and survive an explosion at point blank was just way unbelievable and too impossible to follow. It took me out of the story because when did Leia get that powerful? If she's that powerful, why do they need Luke? I don't know. And then you have Rey. It had a lot of cool things with Rey. And I liked a lot of stuff, the connection they had with Kylo Ren, and that whole lot like that too. But her mission was a waste too, because she was trying to get Luke back on board with the rebellion. That didn't really work, sort of. And then that she also was trying to get trained by Luke. That didn't happen. He started to, but he didn't finish it. And then, so that was a waste. And she also tried to save Kylo Ren from going turning to the dark side, but that didn't happen either. So she learned how to use the Force on her own. She learned how to fight using the Force on her own. Luke didn't really do nothing for her at all. So it kind of made that kind of pointless. And then watching how Kylo Ren become the way he is, and then seeing Luke almost kill him, his nephew, even though because he sensed the darkness in him, made him seem out of character too, because Luke went through so much trouble trying to save his father who was on the dark side, but he didn't try to do the same thing for his nephew. And then when he seen his nephew seeing that even though he didn't go through with killing Kylo Ren, which was great, but the fact that he thought about killing him, and the fact that he attempted to try to kill him, but not face to face, but in his sleep, act like a coward, like wait till he falls asleep and then slice him in half. Wow, that's really out of place for Luke. Like I said, he didn't go through with it, but still, the fact that he thought about it and almost attempted to do it was just wrong. Like this movie has a lot of cool moments in it, a lot of great special effects. Visually, this movie is amazing, but a lot of the plot in this story is a little weak. A lot of the events that happened didn't need to take place, and certain things like the whole thing with Poe could have been fixed if they just talked to one another. That could have been avoided. And like I said, even though they try to establish some kind of relationship with Force between Finn and Rose, that whole adventure didn't have to happen because it didn't do nothing for the story or bring nothing to the picture. This movie had a lot of cool moments. I mean, Laura Dern's character, Admiral Holdo, didn't really bring nothing to the table either, but she did manage to do a cool thing with taking down a destroyer. That was kind of cool. Watching her do that visually, that was amazing. But as the leader, she wasn't really that effective. And then even though I did like the whole thing with Luke Skywalker especially at the end when he faced against Kylo Ren, when he force projected himself. I wish she didn't kill him off. Like, I understand he used a lot of his Force ability. He hadn't done that in a long time, so it probably was exhausting. But to kill him off, because they could have done so much more with Luke. They could have had him face Snoke and go up against that, but they didn't do that either. And the fact they never answered the question about Rey's parents, so now we got to go by what Kylo Ren said, and we don't know if that's actually the truth or not. And if that is the truth, I wish they would have explored her parents more. But I mean, I don't mind her not being a Skywalker or Kenobi. There's nothing wrong with that. Anybody can use the Force. You have to be part of that bloodline to use the Force. But the fact that it set it up to explore, but it never answered that question, was just really messed up. This movie had a lot of potential, had a lot of cool things in it, but there was so much things, the setup part and all the stuff in between. That's when the movie fails. But hey, if you enjoyed the movie and you had all that fun watching it, I'm happy for you. I actually did like this movie. I did like it. It's just that I don't hate the movie. It's just that the movie had a lot of flaws. It had a whole lot of flaws. So leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought about the Jedi. I mean, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. And liked it or hated it, leave your comments down below. That's pretty much all I gotta say about that. So give my channel the big like, thumbs up, boom, and subscribe to my channel and share. I would appreciate it, like I always say in my dreams and in real life. I am the Ninja Rabbit. Peace out, peoples.